Alright guys, let's start hacking. First we're going to open up our web browser here. Then we're going to go to these websites I've bookmarked. I've added them to the comment section so you can download them there. So we're going to open up Flipper. We're going to open up, open my downloads there. We're going to open Sublime Text, and we're going to open GitHub for Hoaxshell. So we've got those three things there. We're going to start with downloading Flipper. So we're going to click on Linux here. So that's in our downloads folder. And then we're going to download the Debian package for Sublime Text, because I like Sublime Text, so we're going to use that for this video. And then once we have that downloaded, we can open our downloads folder here. And I'm going to delete this duplicate. You want to rename your Flipper to just Flipper app image. So once we rename Flipper to just Flipper app image, I'm going to get my cheat sheet here, and I've got it in Sublime Text. So to install Sublime Text, we'll open up our terminal, and we go to our downloads folder. ls, you should see sublime.deb there. So your command is going to be sudo dpackage I sublime. I'm going to run that. Alright, we should have Sublime installed. You can open it by searching Sublime up here. Now I've already got it installed, so mine's already open. Alright, next we're going to open up Flipper. So we renamed that Flipper package to just Flipper, so we can now change the permissions on Flipper. Alright, now we can open it by sudo /Flipper app image. And now we should have Flipper open. Alright guys, so once you've got Flipper installed and running here, we're going to go ahead and tab out of that terminal running Flipper, and go ahead and take your Flipper and plug it into your Linux machine. If you have a virtual machine instead of an actual Linux laptop or desktop, you can use Flipper on your desktop and plug your Flipper into that, and as long as you've got Flipper on there, you should be able to access your bad USB scripts. So I've got my scripts on here already, but I'm going to share my Hoaxshell scripts with you guys. So after you guys copy and paste this code from GitHub or download it, you'll need to edit the IP of your Kali Linux machine here. You need to add that there. So we can do that by opening up terminal, typing in IP ADDR, and then scrolling up. Let's see, here we go, inet. That is the IP of my Kali Linux machine, so we're going to copy paste that into there, and then make sure that's set to 80. And that's going to be the port our listener is going to be listening on. So we'll take this file once we've done that, and we'll save as Hoaxshell depending on which one it is, we'll save it as L, Hoaxshell L, and then the one without the lockout we'll save as Hoaxshell 80. And I'm saving those in my downloads folder. Once we disconnect our Flipper, we want to go ahead and start downloading the Hoaxshell. We're going to download the Hoaxshell listener to be specific. We're going to open up our terminal, open up a new terminal window. There we go. And the commands we're going to need for this is, and make sure you're in your home directory so you can type in CD, drop it back in your user directory. We're going to git clone Hoaxshell. So we'll paste that. Now, mine already exists, but yours is going to download. Then we're going to CD into Hoaxshell. All right, we've got Hoaxshell there. Now we're going to pip install Python install requirements. So we're going to install our requirements. And it says I already have mine because I've got mine installed. We're going to set our permissions for Hoaxshell. So we're going to set our permissions there, chmon. And then we're going to cd into Hoaxshell rev shells. To ls and then cd rev shells. So now we're under Hoaxshell and rev shell directory. Now we could run our Hoaxshell listener. Now let's go ahead and fire up our rev shell listener. Copy our command here. And if your listener is working correctly, it should show up like this. Now that we have the Hoaxshell listener running, it's time to fire up bad USB on our Flipper and infect our target machine. You can start by testing it out by doing some commands such as who am I? And it should be your target desktop or your machine that you attack. We can run some other commands such as, see here, we can do a title for the command prompt on the target machine. Title, you have been pwned. We can do a task list. Actually, let's do system information, see what we get here. Let's try system info. Give it a minute. There we go. Got all kinds of good information here. Got our desktop, our version. Should have our build information. Got some Wi-Fi information here. We've got our address, our Wi-Fi adapter. We can start messing with our target machine by doing a Rickroll in Internet Explorer. So let's go ahead and launch this here. You start Internet Explorer, YouTube. We can also steal the Wi-Fi password from our target machine by typing in this command here. Give it a minute. It'll show a list of Wi-Fi profiles on the machine. And I'll go ahead and copy this command, paste it here. So we go our profile and then use our profile name and then use the key button or key line there. And there is our Wi-Fi password. If you want to keep some persistence with the target machine, you might want to try changing the power settings to where the machine doesn't log out or never goes to sleep. And you can do that by entering in these commands. We can view what tasks are running on the target machine by typing in task list. Go ahead and paste that there. And that's all of our active running processes on the machine. You can also kill any running processes by using task kill /f/PID and then the task number. For example, 11584. You can download files to the target machine using the curl command. You can make directories using the mkdir command. You can make files appear and disappear using this command. Basically, most command prompt commands will work with this shell. However, there are a few commands that will crash the shell, so be careful of what commands you choose. If you crash your shell, you can simply just exit out of the shell on the target machine. If you crash your listener, you can hold Control C on Kali Linux and it will close the shell. Now, if your shell is completely frozen, and if you try to run the old command to open a new shell, and you get a port is busy error, you can use this command to close the listener on that port. Alright guys, just do another quick rundown of my cheat sheet and what the commands do. You can download QFlipper, set the permissions for the QFlipper app, launch the QFlipper app from downloads, download Sublime Text, install Sublime Text, Hoaxshell, you want to clone the repo, CD into the Hoaxshell folder, should be under your user profile /Hoaxshell. Pip install our requirements, which is installs your requirements for Hoaxshell. Chmod Hoaxshell, set your permissions for Hoaxshell. CD Hoaxshell /revshells, which should be under your user profile Hoaxshell revshells. Sudo Python 3 Hoaxshell listener. That is the command you will use to launch the listener for Hoaxshell. you will need to launch one before you execute your payload on your target machine, or before you execute the Ducky script on your target machine. You can use this for killing non-responsive listeners on your Kali Linux machine. So if you've got a shell listener that's frozen or it's open but you can't find it, you can use this command to kill it. This is persistence for power options on a target PC. So once you've got your shell, your Hoaxshell open, and it's connected to the target machine, you can run each of these commands and it'll make the machine or the target computer never sleep. So it'll stay open and awake for as long as you use it. Then I've got my more Windows commands. We've got the Rickroll videos from YouTube with autoplay. So the start works most of the time, but sometimes it doesn't depending on the machine. I like to do start, Internet Explorer, then the YouTube video or whatever web page you want to open. You can do Explorer, which also does the same thing. Start Chrome. Chrome will start, but sometimes autoplay will be a factor there, so you may not get the desired outcome of your video playing automatically. Then you can set your title for your command line. System information should be system info. System info command. That will show some system information on your target computer or about your target computer. You can view list of running processes by task list. I think task list /v will freeze the shell, so don't use task list /v, just use task list. Task kill will kill any running processes on the machine. You can view your Wi-Fi profiles and passwords on your target computer with netsh WAN show profile. You can view the password of the selected profile, so netsh WAN show profile, and then your profile name, and then key equals clear will show the Wi-Fi password for your profile or for your selected profile. If you want to show and slash or show or hide files or folders, you can do the attribute plus H plus S plus R. Desktop /hacker is the picture I chose to show and hide. You can show the hidden document or folder or item with the minus attributes there. So here's some basic file and folder moving and copying and erasing and creation commands. Copy, make dir, erase, copy, rmdir, remove directory or delete folder. WMIC product get name is supposed to give you all the installed programs on the target computer. Whenever I tried it in this shell, it didn't seem to work. So I only got a few programs that were installed, so I'm not sure if it's an issue with the shell. I'm pretty sure it is. Now this one is probably my favorite command out of all of them, and you can use curl on Windows 10 and 11 to download files. So you can set your file name, so what you want to save it as, and then you can set the URL to download the file, so you'll go on your computer, figure out, how to get the download location of a file that's hosted on the web, like GitHub or whatnot. and you can download the file. And that's my list of commands. If you have any questions, just post them in the comments section, and I'll try to get to them when I can.